What's going on, everybody? This is your man Alex from Alpha Destiny, and today I'm bringing you a surprise live Q&A. It's the start of August. Haven't done one of these in well over a month, and I'll also say that you won't be seeing these for a little while because, due to popular request, the weekly/bi-weekly Q&As are coming back. It's been well over a year since I did those, so I'm excited to see your questions. The community has expanded a lot, and it's going to be fun to answer some super detailed stuff. More than just a blitz fashion like what you see in these live Q&As. What's good? Jack, the Banisher. No way, bro, I'm on time today. Yeah, slightly after lunch break for a lot of you, or maybe it's at the end of it. I appreciate everyone coming on. What's up from Sweden? Much love from Canada. What's up, bro? Looking buff. I appreciate that. Bulk is going well. I miss these. Absolutely. You know, I got your back. Nice, another time stream. Yeah. Hey, Alex. Much love from Kenya. Hey. Lunch break, chicken and rice. Classic bro food right there. 6 p.m. in the UK. Perfect. You get to unwind. Just finished work. Yeah. Perfect. So we got the American and UK audience, which is actually my biggest group of guys. It goes United States, UK, Canada, then Australia, then it's a bunch of countries all over the world. Hola, Alex from India. What's good from Canada? You have an amazing physique and I love watching YouTube videos. Appreciate that. Greetings from Turkey. Yeah, Finland, Ireland. I love it. I love the diversity over here. All over the world, we're trying to get buff, maximize our frames, have a good time. I'm in Ontario. Yeah, I'd like to go there. I'm from Montreal. So from the Netherlands, got your Indian audience as well, for sure. Arkansas, Wagwan from England, Belgium. Much love from Saudi Arabia, Germany, El Salvador. Weighted dips and pull-ups is a cheat code, that's true. Algeria. Yo, everybody's representing. We got a lot of people coming in. Oh my God. I think there's going to be a rather intense Q&A. I know in the description I wrote 2 hours, but let's see how this goes. Maybe it'll creep up to 3. But I swear, we're not going beyond that point because I got to work out. Due to time constrictions, I actually have to combine legs and upper body for today, which isn't going to be fun. And I'm going to film the upper portion for you guys. Hopefully get it up by tomorrow. I got some new equipment that I'd like to use. It's going to be fun. All right. So for those of you just coming in right now, I talked about this at the very start, but this is going to be the final live Q&A for a while. We're going back to the weekly stuff. So once this live stream is done, you can put some comments down below, ask your questions, and I'm going to do a community post so we can get more detail here. All right, let's do it. Alex, you look fat, bro. Do I? What do you guys think? Do I look fat, bulky? Like, I don't know. I think I'm looking yoked. And this is the heaviest I've ever been, by the way. Arms are 16.7 inches cold, which is 42.5 centimeters. And I weighed in at 192 this morning. So your boy's officially in the 190s. But you know what? I look leaner than last year when I was in the 180s. So I put on some legit muscle. And a lot of it's in the legs. They're 26 inches cold. So, yeah. How do you train arms? Well, mostly through the compound movements. Getting stronger at the overhead press and incline has been my go-to recently, just because I get more range of motion. See, what I'm figuring out is that you don't necessarily need to do flat benching with a closer grip if you want to maximize your triceps growth. If you do a close grip, low incline, or even high incline, that increased range of motion in the bottom does smash the tris proportionally harder. Like, it really solves a lot of problems for torso dominant guys or people who have shorter arms in general. Because when I do a flat bench, my arm is like parallel. Like, that's it. I don't get that deep action over here, right? Whereas dudes with longer arms, if they do a close grip bench on a flat bench, they're going to be all the way back here, full stretch in the tris. So I'm finding that these inclines are really doing a lot for me. And then the OHP, close grip, again, it's pretty much all shoulders and triceps. So that's what I'm doing for compounds. Regarding the biceps, just straight curls. And I've been doing mostly curls in the mid-range because it's possible that biceps don't experience stretch-mediated hypertrophy due to their length-attention relationship. And so I kind of dropped the incline curls for now. I'm just doing regular dumbbell alternate curls. And I found that as I've gotten wider, the barbell curl is becoming more restrictive for me. It's like I have to force myself to have this position, whereas with the dumbbells, I'm a lot more natural when I'm curling. And what's crazy is that I got these Olympic dumbbells, so you got the 10-pound plates on there, so they're bulkier, right? But they're no longer an issue in terms of curling and cleaning and clearing the body. So just mid curls, bro. That's how you gotta do it. And then for isolating the tris, all long head. I don't do any V-bar pushdowns anymore. Zero. I don't even do regular skull crushers. Everything that I do is with increased shoulder extension and using double ropes. So I will never do a tricep pushdown with one rope just like this. You're in an internally rotated position. You're not getting that maximum contraction way back here. So always double rope. I'll usually just do the pushdowns to failure and then swap around to the overhead version. Get the stretch on those. And yeah, that's about all I do for tris and bis, man. Compounds with a little bit of isolation work, getting stronger at that. And it seems to be working fine. Okay. Got a Q&A right. Stand Strength, what's up, dude? We should do a video together. I'd like to have you on the channel. You're providing some good information. So let's talk on IG after, man. Your physique levels up each year, proving there's no limit for people who continue to change and learn. I appreciate that, man. It's a long-term grind. It's like I'm always saying, it never stops. And this year in particular, I've been getting a lot of compliments. Guys are like, wow, you look so much bigger. You clearly put on some lean muscle. And it shows in the measurements, the weight, the strength, everything. And that's just me never stopping. Always being consistent. You know, for those who've been around since 2016 about, that's 6 years. How fast did that go by? To me, it feels like it was yesterday. Even 2017, like when I give these numbers, I can remember exactly what I was doing, what my goals were at the time, where my strength was at, how much I weighed, everything. So it's like, you just got to stay on it. And I know that in the last 3 years in particular, that's where a lot of gains have been made. Like that whole 4 or 5 bench journey, I mean, I put on muscle doing that. I didn't train like your regular power lifter. Like I was all about getting big, you know, and then just throwing in the max effort. And in general, I find conjugate training is a great way to get buff as a natty. So all it is, guys, I'm nobody special. You've seen the progression. I went from someone who had an okay physique in this industry to people are very impressed. So much love to you all. You can do it too. Just keep watching these videos and expanding the community. And that's it. So thank you, Stand Strength. Coach Brad Calvo, thank you, dude. My son, be honest, those 2019 revisions to Natural Enhanced included removing all the term bear from all the pages, right? How freaking funny as fuck. Yeah, did I remove it? I don't know. I know that I corrected some of the misinformation that was in there. 2019, like that's when, like Natural Enhanced is perfected for that time. You know, moving forward, I'm not really going to update it because that's a system that worked for me. And I can show you clips of me from 2019 where I look pretty darn good. Like my best physique yet. Check it out, guys. So, all right, check this out. So you see this physique right here? That was October 12th of 2019 using naturally enhanced principles. Obviously, I was extremely lazy with the legs in a strength training context. I did like a 300-pound lunge, and my squat was garbage. I did a 700-pound trap bar deadlift. This was full body twice a week. You know, the OG days. That's what it was. I think I looked pretty good, but since then I've put on at least 5 pounds of muscle. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, it doesn't stop, guys. But yeah, naturally enhanced. It's a 2019 version that can get you a physique like what you're seeing here, like there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look at the arms too. Sometimes you just got to get lean to really show everything off. It's not that you're lacking muscle per se. Okay? But, yeah. Yo, one request I'm going to have for you guys. Let's try to minimize the super chats as much as possible, because these go by real quick, and I want to make it as interactive as I can with you. Plus, I got to save all these questions. You might be waiting around for a while before I answer everything. So, whoa. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm just going to save all these questions so I don't lose them, because they're already disappearing. Believe that? Wow. Okay, I'm just saving them. Stay with me. This guy asked, have I ever heard of Anthony DeTillo? I have no idea who that is. Or maybe I've seen is he some old school dude in his 40s? I don't know. On YouTube, he has like a channel talking about methods that work for the bodybuilders way back. Not sure. All right. I got all these questions saved up. Let's minimize super chats, okay? Wow, we got like 800 viewers in here. That's crazy. Okay. Are you a gamer, Alpha Destiny? I used to be a serious gamer, and now I find I just don't have the time. I'd love to get back into it. I haven't even played Elden Ring yet. I got all these great games, you know, during the Steam summer sale of even 2-3 years ago. Games I've never played. They're all there. I don't have the energy. Like, if it's late at night, I might just read a book or watch some anime for like half an hour before I just knock out. But usually I find myself learning and just watching informative videos in general. I don't have time for gaming right now, but I'd freaking love to, because I find that I'm genuinely happier when I include some of that. But I will admit that when I was cutting last year, I did play some games, because that helped me stay focused away from food, is what I'm saying. So distracted. All right. Let's get some questions right here. Hey, Alex, where'd you find the determination to stay consistent and not work out 1 week and stop the next week like I fall for a lot? You got to find the program that is sustainable for you, and the goals have to be of your own. I find that whenever I've tried to train to impress others, or wasn't a goal that was actually mine, like I'm just doing it for views or not clout, because I'm not really a clout chaser, but whenever it was beyond me, external motivation, I always end up quitting it. It's that simple. And that's why for years I didn't even train my legs that hard. Wow, we got close to 1,000 people in here. Holy crap. Much love to all you. But basically, my goal was I wanted aesthetic legs that weren't too big. This way my V-taper would be enhanced. And that required me to not go crazy on the squats and deads, because that was going to provide a different kind of physique. Still badass, but now we're going for that X-taper. And right now I kind of have that look to a certain extent. Legs are 26 inches, and I'm going to get that 500 squat very, very soon, maxing out on August 14th. But that had to come from me. I wanted it. After exhausting all my options, after getting shredded, getting the 405 bench, documenting everything for years, I realized, okay, I do want to build some bigger legs now. But in the years prior, you couldn't make me do that. And the times that I did attempt to, I would just end up quitting after a few months, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's that simple. If you know what you want, you're going to stay consistent for the long term. And notice how my upper body, I'm always consistent. I've been training for over 10 years, and I've never taken more than 3 weeks off. Like, even on vacation, I'll do some freaking burpees, or I can bring my gymnastic rings. I'll find a way to train under any circumstances. But I'm an upper body bro. I'm always trying to get bigger in that department. It's important to me. For me, upper, it beats everything else. And I'm not settling. So, all it really comes down to, bro, is finding a routine that you enjoy and having the correct goals. Once you have that, you're not going to be skipping ever again. And it sounds to me like you're not there yet. Maybe you're running a push-pull legs when you got to be doing upper-lower. Or maybe you've been told that this the most optimal way to work out. Like, bro, I'll just say this. If my training consisted of only machines, I'd be very unmotivated. Like, even now, I have a gym membership. I prefer working out at home. I like barbells. Even if something is superior to the barbell exercises, I'm still going to go with the barbell because I enjoy getting stronger at those movements. I'm still getting bigger in the process, and it's what I see myself doing long term, in addition to calisthenics. Some of these machines, like, I'll do them when I'm at the gym, and they work, they're effective, all is well. But it's not my preference. So the way you train has to align with your goals as well. And you just gotta like what you're doing. So that's how you stay consistent in the long term, guys. At some point, you're gonna have to do what sucks. You won't enjoy everything. Embrace the suck, as they call it. But the majority is gonna be stuff that you vibe with. Yo, I got my man C3 Muscle. I said it years ago. C3 Muscle is the best squatter on YouTube. I still stand by that in terms of the natty scene. Dude is squatting over 700 pounds, high bar, no belt, no sleeves. Look at the documentation. 500-pound bench, I believe. Like, you can do a lot if you dedicate yourself long term. So check out C3. He's the real deal. Okay. Hey Alex, have you ever thought about changing the channel name to your actual name? I feel as though you outgrew the name Alpha Destiny. Well, spoiler alert, I'm going to be doing that. There's a lot of things that are being rebranded. I've already done so on Instagram. It's Alex Leonidas Official. And the same thing will be expanded to YouTube. And I was also considering maybe doing a separate channel just for shorts. Like, in the meantime, I'm going to upload the shorts on this channel. But if I notice that there's a lot of demand for it and you guys just want to keep seeing it, then I can always do like Sean Nalawani. This way, the algorithm's like separate in that way. But it's, yeah, definitely, I'm just going to be me moving forward. This whole alpha male stuff, you have to understand, guys. I was 17 years old when I came up with that name. You know, were any of you fully mature at 17? Did you have your shit together? Were you a little bit cringy? Did you make mistakes? You know, I just rolled with it for all this time because I was known for it. And, you know, that's what Alpha Destiny was. It was fulfilling the Alpha Destiny. But I'm past it, man. So we're going to get out of that in a bit. I think after the 500 squat, I'll rebrand it for sure. I'm going to go for Alex, not Alexander, because everybody knows me as Alex, and the name Alexander could be a little bit long, so let's just keep it quick. All right. Yeah, see, Alex grew mature. Now, we all, at some point, you got to grow up. It's that simple. A lot of us want to extend our childhoods, be teenagers well into late adulthood, and it doesn't work that way. At some point, you're going to have responsibilities. You might end up in a serious relationship. That changes things big time. There's more important things in life that you start to realize. And you develop your own personality that's truly your own, because you're more susceptible to, like, you can be easily influenced at a younger age. And you can take on other people's personalities, but they're not really your own. So in your early 20s, you don't really know who you are. But a little bit past that point, especially when your brain is fully developed at age 25, that's when your sense of self is really enhanced. And I can tell you that there was a big difference for me between 2019 until now. I feel like that's where I've changed the most in terms of personality. I don't have to put up a front. I'm just being me. This is who it is. This is what it is. Those who vibe with it, great. If you don't, I don't care. I'm just going to express my authentic self. I'm not going to put on an act for the camera. I'm not going to scream like some idiot or just be a clown for views. I'm not interested, you know? So, takes time. Takes time, guys. Okay. Hey, Alex, do you have any tips for pain during belt squats? I use a chain belt on 2 benches. I load more than 130 pounds. The chain hurts on my leg. Yeah, you need to get a better belt. I used to have the same problem. I had this belt by Amstaff. which is actually the same company as my power rack. And what I noticed is that when I went above 5 plates on the belt squat, it would dig into my hips really badly. And that's because there was very minimal padding. So after all these years, I got myself the Spud Inc. belt. And if you guys know about Spud Inc., they've been around for a really long time. Arguably the best reputation for having high quality straps and things that are thick and overall designed well. You know, they got so much equipment on their website. Just check out Spud Inc. Get yourself a belt squat belt. And you can only use that for your squats, but also weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, everything moving forward. And it's going to last you a lifetime. It's never going to rip. The quality is going to be identical from day one till now. Spud is the way to go. Now, you can also check out Bells of Steel. When I received my belt squat machine, it came with that belt. You can't go wrong with that either. But if you're using it for belt squat specifically, it's a little bit longer. So you're going to have to use a shorter loading pin if you're doing it to get away, because it was designed with the belt squat machine in mind. I thought you were bald. I'm balding. Okay, this is my hairline from a side profile. It's like a Norwood 2.5. It's this side that's worse. You see? And then if I lean forward, this is where I'm really effed up. I got some thinning right there. Okay? So it's the back where I'm losing it, and then the hairline, I'm just like a diffuse thinner, and the left is worse than the right. And are you on finasteride? No, I'm not using that. I'm just gonna accept my inevitable demise. The Norwood Reaper is coming for me. Come at me, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go bald as hell. I'll be a Norwood 7 one day, whatever. You know what's crazy? Out of all the looks that I've had on this channel, my girlfriend says that bald looks the best. And even she was surprised, because I didn't even tell her when I did it. She shows up at the door, open it up, and she's looking at me like, wow, you look amazing. You're so handsome. I'm like, hell yeah. But I didn't do it for her. I did it for me. I wanted to rock the bald look. So, yeah, surprisingly, that's her favorite look on mine. And she wouldn't have an issue if I did it again. So that works out. I've had a hair transplant. Hey, that's all good. A lot of people in this space are getting FUEs up in Turkey. It's not that expensive. You can get a nice FUT as well. Just came to say you the man. Thanks, dude. Wife her. Hey, we've been together over 3 years now. Get a hair system. Worst case, if you don't want derma roll or finasteride. I don't want a hair system, bro. It looks like a bitch to do. No thanks. No thanks. Okay, let's go back to training. My friends bully me and say that I'm fat when I've been training 2 years. Any tips? Struggling to lose weight because genetics. 6'1", 250, bench 240, deadlift 500, squat 405. Okay, your legs are excellent, my man. You should be very proud of that. Upper body's good too, 240 bench. I suppose the issue, man, is your weight with your bench. Like, you weighing 250, you should be benching well over 300. So there's a bit of a strength issue with that. So you're saying, but your friends bully you? Bro, you're 6'1" at 250. You ain't small, man. Like, and you're probably not fat either. Maybe you gotta lose like 30 pounds. That's not a big deal. Me too, I gotta lose 30 pounds. I think they're just insecure. But what would I just tell you? Improve your upper body strength. Run a bench press specialization program. Get it to 3 plates. You can do it. You have the genetics for it. You don't have shit genetics like you might be implying here. Maybe you have a big appetite, but get on a really good diet, man. And get 220. You're gonna look amazing, and your friends might even be scared when you're walking around because you're gonna look like a freaking titan. Come on. With your stats, when you go out in public, people are staring. Trust me. See, this is the problem with the online fitness community, right? You have people who are actually jacked, who look at themselves in a weird light. when the average person would love to look that way and consider a physique like that to be impressive, monstrous. Like, this is bear mode, you know? It's just funny seeing the differences. Yo, we got like 1,700 people in here. I think this is the most amount I've had in a live stream. Maybe because I won't be doing these for a while, so I'm gonna give you the full experience. We're gonna go on for a long time. Hey Alex, just completed a powerlifting meet a week ago. Got my second meet in October this year. Do I continue with heavy training and deload and repeat? Well, usually you deload after a meet, just because you peak for it, right? Or you might have deloaded the week before the meet, depending how you did it, to lower your fatigue. For me, I did 2 bench press meets, and I believe I just went right back into training because I deloaded both times a week in advance. So when I did the 347.2 at 163, that was done 7 days after 0 training. And I actually did 345 at home, so I knew I was capable of hitting it. And that also proves that the fat pad and the elbow sleeves don't do shit, for me anyway, because I got the same amount at the meet. So yeah, I would just go right back into heavy training if you deloaded prior. If not, you're feeling a bit banged up, because a lot of times it's who can survive, honestly. Dave Tate always said it. Whoever comes in the least banged up is going to win that competition. So if you're already kind of feeling that, the overuse has creeped in, then you're going to want to take a deload for sure. Like powerlifting, especially meet days, bro. That's a lot of time. And you're doing 1 rep maxes on all the lifts with many attempts. All right. Hey Alex, would you consider calisthenics while bulking being weighted calisthenics? Could you say a few words about bulking and calisthenics? Absolutely, and thank you for that super chat. Yes, I would consider it weighted calisthenics. And if you're gaining a tremendous amount of fat, yet your numbers are not going down, then to me, you're putting on muscle. It's the same thing as having a weighted vest on. Like right now at 192, I can hit the same weighted pull-up numbers on that wide grip that I did when I was 170. So over 20 pounds more, the number's the same technically, that's hanging off me, but the total weight is not. So did I gain muscle? I think I did. So weighted calisthenics is an instant booster. And a good way to prove this is what happens when you cut. Your numbers will usually go up on certain exercises. The pull-ups being a great example. You know, in the past, I had done 5 one-arm pull-ups. And when I did my cut last year, I managed to do 6. And it was easier. How is that possible if I didn't do a single rep? Well, actually, I did do a few, but it wasn't how I trained is what I'm saying. Yet, the moment I lost the weight, the muscle allowed me to get an extra rep. I think that's significant. And it demonstrates that when you're a heavier body weight, it automatically carries over to you being leaner. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of weighted calisthenics. You see me in the park recently. I'm going to do some more for you since it's summertime. Still really hot. You can't go wrong with the basics. Weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups even. Like, if you find me a dude that weighs 300 pounds and he's doing like 4 sets of 25 on push-ups, he's probably not weak. Just saying. I recently started reading the Anthony DiTillo blog post in honor of the great lifter. He was a lifetime natural and his methods live on his website. Okay. Cool reference. Is that the guy I was talking about before? Yeah, I've probably seen some of his stuff. But yeah, you guys can check it out. If he was a lifetime natty, then I'm all for that. You know, I don't follow many Reuters on this platform. They tend to give garbage advice. And they're on a different path in terms of the struggle. Like when I see a guy who overcame the odds, who was like plateaued for a while, and you see him putting on more muscle because his training's evolving and he's getting smarter, I'm going to listen to him. Like, I don't want to be a cocky asshole, but you've seen me when my arms were stuck at 16 inches. I'm closing in on 17 now. I'm probably the best person someone could listen to for building bigger arms once I hit that goal. Because I've experienced every struggle you can imagine. This is the area that I'm least blessed with. Hypermobility. They don't respond that well compared to other muscle groups. Like, this has been my problem area. You know, John Meadows was his back. And look what he came up with. The Meadows rows, the rear delt swings, all kinds of movements that when others started trying it, it worked. So I really like listening to people who have lagging body parts that is not their genetic strong point, and then applying their lessons, because usually it tends to be good advice. Whereas some genetic freak, you know, especially if they're on steroids, they can't help you out. If a guy is on a bunch of steroids and he has 3D delts to the max, plus good genetics, like, how is he going to help you get 3D delts? I'm just saying. You're not on the same wavelength. So guys like Detillo, if he did well, then I would be serious in listening to him. Thoughts on a 4 or 5 day split for natties? Can it work? Of course, man. Every split works. It's becoming increasingly more clear that it doesn't really matter what split you run. Even the whole muscle protein synthesis thing could have been off. You probably don't need to be... You know what? I don't want to get controversial now, but it's possible they don't even need twice a week muscle protein synthesis. Just that by doing so, you have more efficient workouts and it can be a bit better for strength. But it could be that like a real bro split just once a week is fine. And personally, once I get my squat goal, I'm probably going to switch to legs once a week. That's just me. But the other muscles, I'm going to do it a bit more frequently. I think twice a week is generally better. And I really like splits like what Jeffrey Verity Schofield's doing. He's got the legs, chest and back, and shoulders and arms. That's classic. If you look at Pete Kacharian, he's got some good old school routines as well. And usually, if you're resting 3 minutes between sets, your workout's going to be longer. So if you're trying to cram all that volume into one session, you're going to be in there for a really long time. So it's probably in your best interest to do it twice a week. Plus, you'll get better strength gains. You'll feel less beat up. Less sore. I think it's still the way to go. But the split itself is irrelevant. You can do upper, lower, full body, push-pull legs, a gentleman split, whatever. Like, what's most important is progressive overload at the end of the day. And being in this game for long term. Like, anyone who trains correctly for the next 10 years, I don't care what split they run, they're going to be buff. And even if something is marginally better, by how much are we talking about? Like, over the months and years, is it going to equate to that much more muscle? Like, let's say 5 day full body is superior to twice a week full body, or even 3 times a week. How much more muscle will you gain over a 3-year time frame? I'd say not even an extra pound. It might be a quarter of that. But you're killing yourself in the gym. You're having to overthink everything, managing all this volume and intensity. Keep in mind, the longer you train, the more things slow down. So you don't need optimal for everything. You just got to find what you resonate with, what you personally enjoy. And that's the whole message I'm saying with consistency. Like, you think I'm going to do like conjugate lower body for the rest of my life? Hell no, bro. Not because it's not effective. It's actually the best way for me. But because I just don't see myself doing it long term. It's very hard on the body. Like, effort-wise. Hey, Alex, fitness questions aside, you doing good? I am. Thank you for asking. I've just been training the hell out of these legs. Actually, I brought it back to fitness. Nice. But yeah, personal life is on point. I'm reading some more books. Can't complain. And I'm making videos for you guys, and my recent videos seem to be doing really well. Are weighted dips necessary if I want that yoke look, develop upper back and upper chest area? No. That's the wrong movement for that. The upper back is not really going to get developed from weighted dips. They might help with some stabilization, but that's not, it's a pressing movement, right? And then upper chest, it's actually the opposite. Weighted dips will bias the costal fibers of the pecs. Basically, you want to look at the arm angle in which you're pressing in, right? And how that relates to your torso positioning. So whenever you're pressing downwards in this direction, okay, so think of a high cable crossover, right? That's going to be more lower chest. When it's just straight across, like your traditional pec decks, that's going to be the mid chest. And then when you got that 45-degree angle coming about here, plus your torso being at that inclined angle, it's going to be more upper chest. And yeah, that is proven, by the way. It's not bro science like we once thought. So dips are going to be the most lower chest, not upper. So it seems like you're doing the wrong movement for your goals. If you want a nice upper back, you got to do wide grip weighted pull-ups in a calisthenics context and weighted inverted rows. And then for the upper chest, that's going to be a decline weighted push-up. So put your feet up on a bench or a plyometric box, whatever. Infinitely better than weighted dips for those purposes. Any strict press goals? Not really, man. And right now I don't really have upper body strength goals. I don't actually care. Like I said, it's just about the lower. I already got the 600 dead, 500 squat is around the corner, and once I do that, I'm gonna get shredded again. Then I've been thinking about competing in a natural bodybuilding show. And at this point, like, I know that there's gonna be fake natties on stage, but I don't care. Even if I don't place well, you guys will be able to see, you guys will be able to see who's actually natty on that stage based off the conditioning and the fullness and whatever. And it would be for myself, just because I did get shredded last year and I looked absolutely amazing, and I low-key regret not displaying that in a competitive environment. Like, what if I would have gone first or something, right? So I'm gonna get shredded again. It's gonna look good. But right now it's all about just aesthetics, general strength, getting a little bit better here and there. And I'm letting the numbers pile up as a result of that. You know, like I did a 225 for 3 seated anterior delt press. And the third rep was garbage. My ass came off the bench, so I'm not even gonna count that. But that was like a month ago. I can probably do that for like at least 4 reps today. So all the numbers are going up. I'm doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 with 185. Flat bench I haven't done in a while. But based off my weight and other PRs, I think if I peak right now, I can do more than 405 in this current standing. But do I care about it? Not really. I really don't. I just want the 17-inch arms. That's my upper body goal. So it's normal to go through these phases where only some areas you got strength goals. Others, you just want to look impressive. Yo, Alex, evening, man. Was good. For me, it's 1:43. We got 2,400 people in here. This is insane. I'm gonna be here for a while. I've been a long time lurker. I just wanted to show my support. I used to be 345 at 6'2", and I'm down to 260 and still going. Great stuff, bro. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for that super chat, and I'm happy that you're getting great results. Like 345 is very heavy, and you cutting down to 260. I would imagine you have a lot of muscle as well. So already you got that Titan looking physique, and in general, like, that's a crazy amount of fat loss, man. A lot of people, they just get stuck in the 300s, you know, because they have a big appetite, and that's a heavy state to be in. So it's not easy what you did, and like you said, you're still going. So 240, 220. Imagine you at 200. Like, I don't know how long you bulked to get to that point or what it took, but I guarantee that if you get shredded, you're going to have a physique that will blow your mind. This is what I've seen in all the fat guys. They always have a tremendous amount of muscle. It's like we all went through some sort of dirty bulking phase, it seems. You know, you might have a little bit of loose skin there, but the actual aesthetics are going to be next level. So good job. Thanks for showing your support, and you know you got this. Okay, here's a good question. Yo, Alex, is there such a thing as upper back dominant and lat dominant? Yes, I would base that off your genetics in terms of how low your lats seemingly insert, as well as their overall muscle fullness. And then there's, so that's a big one, right? Especially your height. Usually if you're really tall, your lower lats will look less prominent, because it's kind of like resizing a picture in Microsoft Paint. Your torso is like so long that to match the lower lat width, you'd have to put on so much muscle that it's probably not realistic. So it's usually going to be the shorter guys who have that like sweeping effect that's actually insane. You know, I'm not saying it can't be done as a taller individual. There's been plenty of bodybuilders, but for most natties, like, the torso length is a huge factor. But beyond like how you're built, it's also how you do the exercises, right? And a lot of people don't really train their lats. They claim that they are, but if you look at the arm path, it's all rear delts and upper back. So most people row like this. You ain't gonna build big lats doing that. Or they're gonna be at a tucked angle to match your benching. Again, that's the least lat bias version. You gotta be at a tucked angle right here. So whenever you do your dumbbell rows or your cable rows, use those neutral attachments. You gotta be here. And then the vertical pulls, a lot of guys are using the wide grip version, which is going to be a lot of thoracic lats, which is like the upper portion, and the upper back. Because they assume that the wider you go, the wider you become, but it's actually the opposite. You want a narrower grip on those vertical pulls. So the training long term can impact this. And then there's people who they overdevelop their spinal erectors, which takes away from the lower lats. I think Ben Pakulski was a good example of this. So sometimes it's not that you don't have the muscle, it's that other areas are dwarfing it. So you probably have, it's possible to have so much traps, rear delts, teres major, and spinal erectors that your lats appear inexistent, combined with the individual genetics. So training style in the long term can absolutely affect this. And actually, I used to train like this on purpose. I was always lat dominant. But then in 2016, naturally enhanced, that changed the game. Yo, Scott Burnhard, bro, I'm in Toronto. Man, I'm in Montreal, Scott. I would love to collab with you in person, get an amazing workout in. Toronto's not too far. It's like 5 hours away. I don't plan on traveling anytime soon, though. I'd be game at the end of the month, though, but I don't think you're still going to be there. Man. Yo, we got to do something. And I got to get my ass over in New York as well. But, yo, I appreciate you stopping by, Scott. We're going to do something. 100%. I can come to you as well. Fuck, if I would have known you were in Toronto, though, it's okay. It's okay. All in due time, okay? All in due time, my man. But much love. And, yo, guys, be sure to check out Scott Bernhard's channel if you want to learn about calisthenics training and getting some high energy vibes. Plant-based, which is, I'm very happy to see that, because a lot of guys are so big on these like carnivorous based diets. Scott is showing that you can look amazing as you get older, pain-free, without doing that. And he's showing the power of body weight training, weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, just regular. The challenges that he has. Really good channel, positive vibes, growing a lot. Check out Scott Bernhard, everybody. I appreciate you, Scott. Thanks for existing, Alex. Thank you, Saya. Much love, man. All right. What kind of books do you read? Similar books to natural hypertrophy. I like different kinds of philosophy. These days, I've been reading a lot more exercise science, actually. So right now, I'm reading Chris Beardsley's book. It's called Strength is Specific, the Key to Optimal Strength Training for Sports. There's this other one too. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of exercise science in recent times. But I like, when I was younger, I would read a lot of self-improvement. But eventually you kind of spot that they're all the same, and they're filled with filler. And some of that stuff is a little bit cringy, but it's okay. Like, it's good for starting you off. And when you're young, especially, you're a bit more impressionable. And it's actually good to be brainwashed with these self-improvement ideas, even if some of them are a little bit out there. Like, I read Think and Grow Rich when I was 17, The Magic of Thinking Big, How to Win Friends and Influence People, even The Law of Success, Anthony Robbins stuff when I was younger, though his stuff is a little bit out there. You know, these are the old school names I'm referencing here, but I read all that shit when I was young, and a lot of it was odd, but it certainly helped me, you know? So, let's see here. Thoughts on front squats, seal rows, mace swings. In my early 20s, wondering your thoughts on growing older and experiencing life. Also love this community. Yo, I love you guys too. So, the front squat is a great exercise, but I do think it's a little bit overrated if you have access to a safety squat bar. Because, let's keep it real, most people use really bad technique. We're just bros. You know, the clean grip tends to not be the cleanest. And a front squat will usually be limited by upper back strength and your form. So it's actually not more quads as a result, because the absolute load is going to be so much more less. More or less. That's terrible grammar. I apologize. Yeah, I prefer the reverse SSB squat. So you want the camber to be facing upwards. So it provides basically the same strength curve, but now it's 100% brute force. I think it's better for recreational lifters who don't care about Olympic weightlifting. But it's still a good movement, the front squat. And then the seal row, absolutely. I'm going to be doing those a lot moving forward, because I got 5 plates on the ghetto row. And the whole benefit is to minimize lower back fatigue. And that is what seal rows, cable rows, dumbbell rows, all these movements where you're not in a bent forward deadlift position, that's what it's going to do. Enable better recovery and still hypertrophy the primary mover, which is the intention behind rowing. We don't row for our lower backs. We row to get thick on top. So the seal row is very difficult. It's a true horizontal pull because you're completely flat on it. It's very difficult. You get more out of less weight. That's an S tier exercise for sure. Then the mace swings, I have very little experience with that. But I know it's been around for a very long time. Like, the Indian clubs is one of the original ways of training. And the people who did that back in the day had some great physiques. Awesome shoulder development, and most importantly, reducing pains. It develops mobility and strength simultaneously. So whenever you got something that's time tested, it's usually that way for a reason. So they're still selling these freaking clubs. I know Louis Simmons was big on that as well, for his benchers who were well over 700 with the t-shirts. Okay? And then you ask me, what are your thoughts on growing older and experiencing life? Man, I'm still young myself, you know? And I kind of talked a little bit about that stuff before, so I'm not going to repeat myself now. And I don't really want to be honest. But you can say I'm a traditionalist kind of man. I believe in family. And I believe in having a legacy. And not wasting your life with nonsense that's not going to really elevate your spirit and truly keep you happy in the long term. Like, I'm not very materialist, though I do strive to get more money. It's mostly a freedom thing, not because I care about buying shit. But you got to figure out your own path in life, my man. Everybody's different with that. I don't know where you stand on the political spectrum, for one. And I don't know what you see yourself long term. Like, I want to live to 100. That, to me, that's a good goal. My grandmother died at 99 years old. I want to beat her. So that's why I'm not going to take steroids. And, you know, I'm going to do things that are, what do you call it? That don't destroy me. Like staying away from drugs in general, and things that could be described in like the 7 deadly sins. And I'm not a religious person, but I think having some values that you live by is important, and you just build on that in the long term. Longevity. There you go. Any plan on doing strongman type training in the future? Nah, I'm not interested in strongman. It's a really cool sport, but right now bodybuilding is more so my interest. And I don't really have the right build for strongman either. Let's just keep it real. I don't have the leverages for that. A lot of it is going to be vertical pressing variations, and I'm wow, we got 3,000 people in here. I have hypermobile elbows, so that's been a struggle for me my whole life. I'm really a horizontal pressing guy. You also got to be a bit fatter, which I don't want to do. And I got shorter arms. Like I'm a benching kind of build, you know. I'm not built for pulls, even though I've done 600 on the sumo, which is not even allowed in strongman. And conventional, I think that's the exercise that I'm least built for. And you're gonna be doing a lot of those. So I don't think I have the right leverages to really excel at that sport. I think I would do pretty freaking terrible. Rest in peace, Drake. Is that true? There was another really good question that I saw here, but it's gone. Oh, timestamps. Yeah, I'm going to be doing all that after, okay? So I don't want any of you to do it. I got you covered. Buff or lean look? Well, you can kind of have both, but I think you're referring to bulky versus just lean aesthetic. That's 100% subjective. I can't determine that for you. Some people find that even being single digit looks repulsive. Like they would never want to look like that in a million years. Others think that 20% is too fat. They want to be somewhere in between. I'm not even going to comment. But I would say that for me, I think I prefer being leaner. Not... Well, the thing is, guys, if you get shredded one time, you're always going to compare yourself to that version. And that's something that Greg Doucette told me personally, you know, in the DMs. It really F's up your standards for the rest of your lifting journey because you see yourself in prime condition, all that muscle separation, the striations, the veins, the fullness, if you did it right. It's such a crazy look that you have for a short amount of time, but you don't forget it. So that be careful in going down that path, right? But when I look at the physiques visually, like my shredded state was insane. It's actually insane. I have many pictures that I could show you guys, which I'll continue to do so as I make more videos. But I can like I'm so shocked that I even look like that. And months later you can see it, you know? But a little bit heavier than that is probably my preference. Like let's say 15 pounds more than being shredded is a good weight to be at. Right now I'm in the 190s. Like that's heavy for a guy my height. Some guys think I look amazing right now. This is my best state yet. It's definitely my biggest, and I look pretty freaking jacked in clothes. And in general, like it's definitely a monstrous type of physique. You know, not saying I'm a monster, but you look your biggest, right? But you don't have the cuts, man. You take your shirt off, your torso looks like a barrel, right? You don't have that tiny waist. You don't have the cuts. It's just a different kind of look. But you're jacked. So what's better? Nobody can answer that. Like you gotta try both and see what looks best for you. But right now I'm like, man, I can't wait to cut. I'm just keeping it real. I'm looking so freaking forward to it. And I don't know, the thing is, I don't know how heavy I'm going to get. I might end up at 200 pounds or 195 or something. You look better this way. No point in lifting if you're going to be a Twinkie dink. Well, look at calisthenics athletes. You know, a lot of them aren't the biggest, but they look pretty freaking good. or like the whole kino body philosophy, Hollywood physique. I don't think that's a bad look at all. Yeah, but it's a more manly look, dude. The rip look is for teenagers, lol. I don't think it's for teenagers. But it's true that a lot of them do have that look. Like, they all got the same, what's it called, the broccoli haircut, and they're shredded, and they wear like the same kind of clothes too. They listen to the same music. They're all just like a copycat of each other. I don't know. Broccoli, lol. Trendies. Alex, I really like your look. I prefer the bulky look. Basically no personality. You know what it is? They haven't found themselves yet. You know, when I was young, I was impressionable as well. I used to do the okay, I don't like dancing, okay? I hate it, as a matter of fact. But there's two dances that I know how to do. One is the Thriller dance by Michael Jackson, from start to finish. And the reason why I know how to do that was because of drama class. They forced me to learn that freaking thing. Okay, we spent months perfecting it. So it's fun doing that, right? And the second one is the Ziz dance. The original one where you're crossing the arms, you know? But that's because I was like 15 or something. And I even did the spiky haircut. So when I'm drunk, that's the first thing I'm going to do at the club. But it's going to look really sloppy. And it's been years since I've done that. But now it's kind of made a comeback, you know? So it's interesting seeing on TikTok and on YouTube all these things. But that's what I would do, bro. Just those two. Prove it. I'm going to make a fool out of myself. It's going to look super sloppy. Yeah, you were Ziz, bro. See, I was too. That's what I'm saying, guys. Ziz actually inspired me. I'm not going to lie about that. Dance for us, king. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be too embarrassed, man. I don't, no. Please do. No. If I had some booze in me, I would do it. Absolutely. Or if I meet you guys in person, sure. Let's keep this stuff informative. But I did want to mention that. Everything comes around. Oh yeah, big time. Big time. Alright. But yeah, Ziz died in 2011, bro. I remember when Louis Marco released a video saying, "Rest in peace, Ziz." And even I was like, wow, this sucks. You know, keep in mind, I was on the forums as well. I did all that shit. I'm from the OG generation of the fitness community. I'm the same as you when it comes to dancing, bro. Yeah, man. Alex, I'm probably going to do that dance this weekend. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, Swedish House Mafia. Yeah, big time. Ziz inspired Generation Foire. Yeah. Okay. Alex, I really want to get more fit, but I'm concerned about losing strength and power. Assuming recovery isn't an issue, is there a trade-off somewhere? How could I program to minimize interference? So you're not specifying. Why would you lose? Okay, you're just talking about it in a programming standpoint, not fat loss, right? You're not saying that you're in a big calorie deficit and therefore some aspects of your physique are going to regress. Like you might lose some strength, but you can gain some power, or you'll lose both. You're talking just straight like, okay, how do you minimize interference? There's only one way to do it. And that is you have to run the conjugate system. If you run any traditional program like linear periodization templates or those gradual systems where your percentages are constantly waving and you're just focusing on a few movements and you're going through phases, like let's say you got a hypertrophy block, then a power block, then a strength block. If you're doing that, then you can't mix the two because it's literally a contradiction to how everything is set up. But if you have specific days that focus on those given performance elements, then you can get away with it. Now, if you really want to maximize both, then just do what I did years back, man. Volume day, intensity day. So the intensity day would be strictly lower intensities, so higher percentages, low reps. Sorry, high intensity. And then the volume day would be training like a bodybuilder, and you can mix in your power stuff. So it's literally that simple. Now the thing is, when you're doing this every single week, you can't get away with it for very long, and the wave progressions that you use are going to be limited because it's all being balanced simultaneously, right? So you might have like a 3-week wave where you're jumping 5% a session. That's not going to last long, and you're going to start to plateau and actually regress. So what you need is to rotate the movements a little bit more frequently. And this is why, if you look at the West Side program, like on dynamic effort days, you'll do 50, 55, 60% of your 1 rep max with the 25% accommodating resistance, which doesn't change. And then on the 4th week, you're going to swap it out for something else when you're done. So if you were doing a bench with monster mini bands, you might switch to a bench with 60 pounds of chains. And the week after that, you're repeating it, but you're going to use a Swiss bar instead, you know? But like the intensities on paper are the same. That's never changing. So yeah, I'm just, what I'm saying is you got to do it all in the same week, but because it's all programmed there, you can't keep the same movements in forever. And then for the max effort days, if you're going to do 1 rep maxes every week or like super low reps, you have to change those variations or else your joints are going to get beat up and you're not going to acquire PRs at all. You're basically going to stall every single week. So just watch some of my older workout videos. It's going to give you a good idea. Or check out Naturally Enhanced, you know. But conjugate system, bro. That's how you're going to minimize the interference. Then if we're talking about rep ranges, anything above 12 to 15 on compound movements is probably going to do that if you're doing a strength day, unless it's in isolation. So whenever it's single joint, you can use higher reps. It's not going to affect your benching and stuff like that. But if you're trying to do that on a good morning, you're going to do sets of 20 after maxing out, I wouldn't really recommend that. So that's what I would tell you for that. Books I can gain to read. Well, books I can read to gain powerlifting programming info. Check out the West Side Barbell Book of Methods. Also look into Chad Wesley Smith, his Juggernaut Training Systems. You could read Jim Wendler's 531 Forever. I think that's the best edition, in addition to the original one. You can also look at Renaissance Periodization just to look about general strength programming and hypertrophy. Yeah. Oh, Mike Teixeira's Reactive Training Systems book. That's a good one. What else? Yeah, I think you're good with those. Start off with that. You'll be okay. I'll post my question one last time and check tomorrow if you might have answered. Hey, man. You missed your opportunity right there. But I'm saving these some of these questions. When is the calisthenics programming coming out? Waiting for it religiously. It's going to be the end of the year, most likely. Alberto, Alex, you skipped my super chat. I don't know which one of yours. I saved a bunch of them. I don't know which is yours, but I'm going to get to it if possible. That's why I'm saying much love. I appreciate all these super chats, but let's try to minimize them because I just got to accumulate them, and it can be hard to keep the pace on point. And plus, I want to go back and forth with you guys right here. Yo, what's up, Greg Doucette? I have skinny ass forearms. How do I beef them up? I've already jerked them 6 times today. Well, first of all, stop jerking off so much. You're wasting your life doing that. And if you have time to do that 6 times a day, like, what are you even doing with your life, right? Even though this is a troll question, I understand. Like, bro, you shouldn't even have free time to troll. That's the truth. I think you need to find... Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't even feel like answering this question. For optimal recomp, how many calories can I cut daily? And how many pounds of lean body mass can I expect to gain monthly? Age 39, 23% body fat, 177, lifting bad for years, steady for 4 months, 4 times lifts a week. Well, thank you for the super chat, sir. So, how many calories can you cut daily? And how many pounds of lean body mass can you expect to gain? First of all, if you're trying to maximize the daily calorie deficit, then you're probably not going to gain a lot of monthly muscle to begin with. And you said you're 23% body fat at 177. That's not that bad, actually. You might be 157 at 12% body fat. Very possible. So you only have like 20 pounds to lose, realistically speaking. You said lifting bad for years, but you've been steady for 4 months. It doesn't change the fact that you got a base, right? I wouldn't even focus on, like, if you've been training for years already, like, I get it. Okay. I would just be in a 5 to 20% calorie deficit, no more than that. If you're talking about the maximum amount of loss, right? But if you're talking about recomping, then you're taking the slower route. But even then, I can't tell you how much lean body mass you're going to gain because recomping is inferior. Nobody can actually specify how much muscle you'll put on, especially if you've been training. Yo, you guys are having screen glitching issues? 1 second. Let me see something. One second, boys. Okay. Are we good? You guys can see me? On this live thing, I don't see myself. Okay. Nope. You don't see me. You just see the chair. Great, okay. One moment, boys. You go like this, and then like that. Okay, now for sure it's gotta work. You just see a chair, but you hear me. Oh my God. I'm sorry that you guys are... Oh my God. Cena Destiny, John Cena. Yes, just a chair. Well, guys, I've become a chair. So I don't know what to tell you. Let me see here. Can I reset it? Deactivate? Activate. Okay, there you go. I've returned. What's up, boys? Did I just pull a Dragon Ball Z? Oh, yeah. Yo, yo. What's good? That was the weirdest thing ever. I've never had that happen to me in years of doing live streaming. Okay. Is that a Gears of War themed chair? No. This is, well, actually, most people use this for League of Legends. I'm not really a fan of that game. I prefer to MMORPGs. What are they called? MOBAs? I don't like MOBAs. They're not fun to me. I was never able to get addicted to that kind of stuff. All right, we're back. I apologize for that little slowdown. Probably found it entertaining, but I'm going to go back to that previous question because I completely lost my train of thought, okay? So scrap what I said earlier. Let's redo that freaking question. Okay, I'm rereading it. For optimal recomp, how many calories can I cut out daily and how many pounds of lean body mass can I expect to gain monthly? Age 39, 23% body fat, 177, lifting bad for years, steady for months, 4 times a week, lifting. Okay, so you're probably on upper lower. That's a great routine. You've been lifting bad for years, but You didn't really specify how much muscle you gain in those bad years of lifting. If you're 39, what do you define as years? Were you training for 5 or 10 years? Was it a decade or more? Like, how much muscle did you put on, right? Because if you're 23% body fat at 177, that is not bad at all. That means if you were to cut down to like 12% body fat, you might be 157. So realistically, you only got about 20 pounds of fat to lose, and you're going to look good at that body weight, which isn't that much lighter than what I was at for the most part. You know, when I'm really lean, I'm usually about 165-ish, you know. I can probably do 170 now, but just to say, you're going to have a good physique in the 150. So that's realistically where you got to go. And that tells me that you gained a good amount of muscle. You probably put on at least 15 pounds of muscle. So for that reason, I wouldn't even classify you as a beginner. And therefore, the recomping approach is going to have to be a little bit different. You can't necessarily use the maximum fat loss strategy on a daily basis if it's going to affect your muscle growth, right? Like, it gets harder to recomp effectively the longer you've been training. And even at your age, that's another factor to consider, right? So I would avoid doing like the craziest deficit, you know, unless you just want to do one cut and it's over. And you know what? That could be a good option, technically. Like, instead of trying to recomp, just do one fat loss phase, 3 months, you lose it, and then you're good to go, right? Because if you try to do the slow way, it might take you 6 months. It could be double the time, or 5 months, you know? But generally speaking, recomps require less of a deficit. So I said before, 20%. 20 is like if you're going aggressive, right? But 5 is probably all you need. And you could probably go even less than that, you know? But again, it's slow and steady. So I don't know what precise answer to give you here, to be honest. I would say on training days, so if you're doing upper lower, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, you could eat at maintenance. And then on the off days, you can be in a 5% deficit. And at the end of the week, you're still going to be in a very minor deficit, but you'll have enough energy to gain a little bit of muscle, even though it's not really efficient. That's what I would say to that. Tips for food addiction. 85 kilos and hunger is huge for me. I've been lifting for 2.5 years and always in a deficit, but later I cheat and keep the kilograms. Yeah, so 85 kilos is not overly heavy. I was that recently. There's people who weigh well over 100 kilos, and I consider those guys to have massive appetites. I think you probably have a well-sized lifter's appetite, but nothing where you can become a massive fat ass. So to me, the issue is the cheating that you're doing, the cheat meals, not necessarily how hungry you are, and maybe you don't know how to cut properly. So you end up giving up on your cut and then just binging right after. But the appetite, based off being 85 kilos, does not signal that you're this guy who's going to eventually be massive. Like fat is what I'm saying. So I think you need to reevaluate your entire diet as a whole. Maybe you've been trying to cut too quickly when you should take a slower approach. Maybe you're eating foods at home that you don't actually enjoy. Maybe you're following like basic bro diets that are just bland and boring. Possibly you gotta get yourself a cookbook and make some better meals, man. Like, whatever you're eating, it's clearly not satisfying you. Because if shortly after you just end up binging your life away, it's probably because you're following some kind of fad. Like, are you doing keto when you don't care about that? Do you like your carbohydrates? Well, guess what? You can get super lean eating in that way. You're just gonna have to figure out the foods that you really mess with, man. And also have substitutions to those foods that are cheater style. So I don't know what foods you binge on, but if it's gonna be a burger, why don't you make yourself some lentil black bean burgers instead of buying those processed ones that you get in the freezer aisle that are well over 300 calories a burger. You know, just that. You can have the same amount of food, but you're going to have, if you eat like 3 of them, you're going to have like 450 calories less per meal. What about the oils? Are you dousing your food in olive oil because it's healthy fats? Well, cut it out, bro. Are you buttering the hell out of your pan? Why don't you try water frying, bro? Or just steaming, or using a pressure cooker. Sometimes you got to change the device itself, such that you're making the same meals, but they're a bit less calories. So, find foods that you cheat on, right? Replace them with healthy alternatives. And then the diet itself, it's got to be sustainable long term. If you don't have that, you're just going to keep regaining all this weight. But you're someone who can definitely get really lean. This is not an issue of appetite, bro. Okay. Simp boy. You should change your username, bro. I can't grow my traps. I do shrugs, but the damn things won't grow. What should I do? Rack pulls? Well, you could. Like, I would tell you to check out my yoke playlist. In my experience, when I did a tremendous amount of rack pulls above the knee, power shrugs, and cheat rows, a long neck work, that's when my traps grew the most. And even though right now, I feel like I've regained all that muscle for the most part, I think I've peaked my traps, you know, even though I don't really train them that much. I would say that they grew the fastest when I was training in that style. 2016, 2017, it was insane. But out of all those movements, I feel like the cheat rows and rack pulls did the most for me. Probably less the power shrugs, especially now that we know that all of us on YouTube, like literally all of us, were wrong regarding hitting the upper traps specifically. See, all the research that was done on upper traps, it was EMG for the most part, and the nodes were placed on the wrong segment of the spine. Meaning what they were detecting as upper traps was actually middle traps. And it turns out that whenever you're shrugging from a standing position, it's going to be a lot of middle traps. So if you want more upper, it's actually going to be the angles that you row in. So if I do a shrug with my arms here, so I'm just retracting this way, as opposed to just shrugging straight up, this right here is going to be more upper traps due to the fiber orientation. So you can do the same thing. You can swing, and that's why the cheat rows work so well. Like the trap bar T-bar rows that I was doing, it wasn't fully upright. It was like in between, and I was getting that retraction in there, you know? And the rack pull is just a stretch, you know? So a bent over shrug, yeah, basically. Yeah, that's what you got to do. And that's why those shitty 8 rows that I used to do, like really, really bad form, where I was basically just retracting my scapula, that's why I helped my traps grow so much. So that's what I would tell you, bro. Just change the angle at which you're shrugging and go freaking heavy. And you're going to be good. It makes so much sense. It does, right? Now I can put 2 and 2 together. Oh, and the neck training is going to work your traps as well. Work on the neck extensions, because whenever you do a neck extension, it hits the upper traps. No problem. Yeah, this is Inspired Generation. Fuck. He did. Though NH had a pretty good response to that as well, not gonna lie. Alex, we got over 4,000 people in here. Alex, I'm training for the Naval Special Warfare. I'm in the military. I need to get 100 push-ups in 2 minutes, 20 pull-ups in 9 minutes, 1.5 mile run. I'm 140 pounds. Can I get strength and size while achieving these numbers? Yes, but you're probably not going to be the biggest guy if you're able to do that. Like, even you being 140, you can hit those numbers weighing the same amount. Or maybe you can bulk up to 185 and get it, or even do the reverse, recomp. Oh, I think you're getting confused with total views and current views. Oh, you're right. Oh my God, I'm a dumbass. Yeah. Okay, my bad. That's the biggest fail of this live stream. It's okay. Yeah, you're right. There's like 400 people in here. I'm still happy though. I'm still happy. Anyone who shows up, I'm happy to give advice, okay? It's not about the number of people, it's about the impact. And I'm gonna timestamp everything. All right, going back to your question, bro. Can you gain strength and size? Well, the strength is like you getting to those numbers. That's a strength process in itself, right? I would say the most impressive thing there is going to be the 20 pull-ups. For the legs, a 9-minute, 1.5 mile run is not going to do anything for them. Your legs probably won't grow at all, to be honest with you. It's going to be, I was like, where the hell are the rest of the 1700? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you do the running, bro, that's not going to bulk up those legs. You're going to increase your endurance. The pull-ups can do the most for your back. 100 push-ups is a good standard, but we're talking about hitting it in 2 minutes. Usually the standard is doing that in less than a minute. If we're talking about guys who are like buff, like if you go on the That's Good Money YouTube channel, you'll see guys who are doing 100 push-ups and I think 50 pull-ups in less than 5 minutes, right? Those are the guys who have great physiques. But it's because of the timing aspect of it all. If you're saying, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of reps. Like the push-up part is the easiest, but the pull-ups, that's where things get intense. So, you're talking about being in the military. This is the standard you got to hit. It's good, but it's not a standard that's going to make you look like super muscular or be like really strong at weighted calisthenics or, other movements. You have a base with that. It's a nice base is what I would say, but not much more than that. Are you 5'5"? Yes, I am. 5'5.5". So do I round it up or down? Like technically, if I'm wearing any shoe, it brings me up to 5'6", right? So I guess I should just say 5'6". I don't know. Keep up the good work. Love your vids. They've been very helpful. Thank you, dude. It's my pleasure making this content for you guys. I enjoy it, and I'm always trying to do stuff that's actually going to help you out. What's up? Everything's good, man. Always round up. Sprinting. Do you consider 12% body fat as healthy and maintainable? Absolutely. You can be 12% body fat for the rest of your life. And you can have really good definition. No problems gaining muscle at that body fat. Like, people who haven't been single digit, they don't know what the real difference is. I got my man Golden Era Bookworm. Hey, bro. What's up, Carlos? I appreciate you stopping by. And for those who haven't checked out our interviews together, you can do so on my channel plus his. Because it started with me interviewing him, and then he interviewed me. Cool doorbell sound. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that. But I'm guessing it's the Amazon guy. Yeah, Carlos has a great channel for learning about real natural bodybuilding and old school gems. Like, he's the reason why I got my chest expander. I saw his video on Fred Roland, the man who never lifted weights, yet looked freaking impressive. And I was sold immediately. I bought one right off the bat. And I've been obsessed with this thing for months now. And they were great interviews. They were. They really were. You asked me great questions. Your feedback was phenomenal. You answered all my questions in great detail. I really enjoyed it. And I think it helped a lot of people too. Because we just kept it real. We were saying how we honestly felt. And I felt really comfortable around you, Carlos. I like your vibe overall. Really do. Some people you talk to, it's like, it's full on interview mode. But with you, it was different. What's your nutrition like? check out my nutrition playlist if you want information on that. I got a bunch of videos. Feelings mutual, bro. Appreciate that. And it's fun going back and forth in the DMs. And I can't wait to see that new video you got coming up. Gabriel Martinez, my man, that's an OG right there. You have a video talking about your recording setup. I have like an old home gym setup video where I show you my soft boxes and everything, but really the setup is a Manfrotto tripod, a Sony a6600, and then I got some KNF ND filters for when I'm filming outside. I also have some Sigma lenses. Okay, like this is the Sigma 16mm f1.4 classic. You can't go wrong with it. I also got the 30, which is what I usually use for my talking heads. I have the Aperture 200D, I think. Which one? What's it called there? It's a dome. It allows you. It's a bicolor light, and it's from Aperture, and that allows you to get some really professional looking lighting. Looking for lens to buy. Yeah, it depends if you got a full frame or an APS-C. If it's APS-C, go with the Sigma lineup. You're not gonna regret it. I would get the 30mm f1.4 or the 16mm. Which one? Fred Roland workout. Just filled it on the weekend. Hoping to drop this week. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That's going to be a game-changing video right there. Yo, Alex, your thoughts on Elliot Hall's doing one set to failure? So, Hamza, he's talking about Mike Mentzer's heavy-duty training, right? And the guy that he's associated with now is on the same bandwagon. But they're doing it out of marketing, in my opinion. It's not that it's superior. It's because it's being rebranded. That's simple. And there's even a sales page now with like a modern form of training this way. Probably just took Mike Mentzer's workouts and flipped the exercise selection around, or like, you know, it's principles, right? But heavy duty is very simple. You can read the original source material. Like I read Mike's books. It's not complicated at all. But they're obviously promoting it because, you know, a lot of people are talking about mechanical tension being the primary driver of hypertrophy, which is correct. And since people did get great results with it, and the guy that's with Elliot right now built his physique that way, along a few others, then it's easy to say, like, yeah, you can do the same thing. But they're not going to tell you to read Mike's books. They're just going to do their own version. So I don't blame them for that. You know, got to make a living, and they're helping in that way. But do I think it's optimal? Do I think it defeats traditional volume training? No, I don't. And if it were, then all the best heavy hitters of today would be doing it. But they're not. None of the elite naturals train that way, including from way back in the day. None of the champions in 2022 as well. Yeah, you can nitpick a few bodybuilders here and there, but who's doing heavy duty in 2022 at the highest level? Nobody. That's all I'm trying to say. So it's not that it doesn't work. Just for you, found the chest crusher routine. We'll film it for you too. We'll also do a video on the routine for the piece of equipment that Arnold crushes in pumping iron. Awesome, man. And the chest crusher routine is going to be interesting to see. I have a feeling I know what angle is you're going to use, though, now that I got it as well. This chest crusher is insane, yo. I thought I was going to be able to crush at least 5 springs. I couldn't even do 4 for 1. It was really humbling, you know, because there's guys on YouTube that could do a lot more than that. But, you know, and you would think, okay, I can bench 405. I can for sure do 4 springs, right? And I'm doing a chest expander with 5 springs, but the thing is, the chest crusher uses industrial springs. They're like this big and they're really heavy in your hands, right? So the tension is just insane, you know? Like if I'm doing 3 springs for even reps of 12, it feels like I'm benching at least 300 pounds or something. Like, it's not a joke. And who would have thought that you can have this portable thing that can do that? World record is 8 springs on the chest crusher. Yeah, I think I saw a guy do 9 also on YouTube for 1 rep max. And Kiriakos Grizzly did like 7 apparently. Like, I don't know how the hell these guys do it. You know, I'm going to train with this thing for some months. I'm going to see what I can take it up to. I think I could work up to 5, but like, it's not normal, guys. Hey, Alex, I wanted to hear what is the highest weight you've bulked up to and your height, assuming 5'6", from what I heard you say before. Thanks. Yeah, so basically that. This is my heaviest weight right now. I weighed in at 192 this morning. And I'll be honest, depending how much food I eat with the bloat, sometimes I'll wake up at 193 or 194, but that's not, like, that's because of the food that I ate, right? Like the water weight accumulation and stuff like that. But if I'm eating clean, which I've been doing recently, it's 192 right now. Below max time. Yeah. I told you guys, I'm going to do whatever it takes, in a natural way, of course, to hit my goals. So I think I'm going to squat. Well, first of all, I'm going to max out on August 14 on the barbell back squat. I'm going to go between 465 and 500. It's possible that I hit 500. I think what's realistic is 465 is going to be a wrap. 485 can probably get it. I think I can do it. I have confidence that I could do it. The 500 though, that's going to be an RP 10 if I go for it. Like, that's not going to be an easy one for me. It's going to be a true grinder squat, which I haven't done in a very long time. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to film all the attempts. I'm going to show it to you guys on Instagram first and foremost. So let's see how that goes. Hey, it's possible I do even more than 500, but I kind of doubt it. I don't know how much I've improved. I don't know. But I'm not afraid to gain weight is what I'm saying. You know, a lot of people, they just want to be shredded year round. You know? For me, it's like bulk cut, bulk cut. I go back and forth because I'm serious about my goals. Okay, my man Golden Era Bookworm has a question. What are your strength goals? Do you have specific numbers on specific lifts, or do you have no limits? It all depends what I want to achieve and what I'm willing to sacrifice to do it, right? So as a long-term goal, I'd like to bench press 200 kilos, which is 440 pounds. I think it's realistic within the next 3 to 5 years. The question is, could I do more than that? And I believe the answer is yes, but there would be a price to pay, and that is bulking up to a much heavier weight. So let's say I acquire a 440 bench at 200 pounds, right? If I want 465 or maybe even 500, I might have to bulk up to 250 pounds, you know, maybe even 300. I don't know how heavy I would have to get to be able to do that. So then, is it a limit? No, it's just self-imposed. You have to be willing to gain that extra fat, but you might not want to do that. So it's possible that I'm never going to hit those numbers just because I refuse to gain the weight. But I did it to myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only strength goal I have. 440 bench, long term. I don't care when it happens. But I do believe that I'm capable of more if I'm willing to sacrifice the leanness, which I don't think is a good idea for long-term health. Who wants to be fat like that? You know? Exactly. Ever consider going on the bulk like Bruce Randall? No. I just bulk because I have to, you know? But I don't want to do anything psychotic. Or my physique looks are like really different. Like even now I'm getting outside my comfort zone. Just hitting 200 is going to be a lot for me, you know? Keep up the good work. There, love your vids. Very helpful. Thank you, dude. Okay. We went through all these super chats. Fantastic. Good. So now we can be more one-on-one. What's your longest front lever hold? 9 seconds, bro. I did that in 2018. And then I think a few years ago, I think it was 2020, I did it for like 7 seconds. So I actually got weaker on the front lever. I find it's a movement you have to consistently train. And depending how heavy you get and where you put on the muscle, it could impact this. Right now, I bet it would be a lot harder to do even 5 seconds because my legs are so much bigger and I'm heavier. You start lifting because of your insecure of your height? No. It was never about height. I really didn't care. And keep in mind, I grew up in the Italian neighborhood. Okay, I went to school with like 98% Italians who were all basically the same height as me. So I didn't even know that people were tall, like growing up. And I've been inspired since I was a kid. I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. I want to be buff at like 10 years old. Obviously that was never going to happen, but I've been obsessed with muscles since I'm a child. You know, and everybody's small as a child, you know? So the height thing, I didn't really care. You know when I realized I was short? When I was 18 or 19, something like that. Even when I went to college, like I didn't care, bro. I thought I was 5'7" actually. Because on my driver's license, they wrote 170 centimeters. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 5'7", whatever. I didn't give a fuck, you know? It's only when I started making YouTube videos where guys were like, yo, what's going on here, you know? Then I realized, like, oh, okay, this is what it is. So I went my whole life thinking I was just average height. Should a skinny guy with a good amount of body fat cut or slow bulk? If you're skinny, I'm usually going to recommend a bulk. But the thing is, if you have a lot of body fat, plus you're skinny, like you're basically skinny fat. And in that case, you can recomp effectively for months. You can probably do that for like 6 months, no problem. And have gradual linear progression. So just because of the skinny factor, I would say do a recomp right now. Oh, Alex, what do you prefer for strength carryover for the bench, pause bench versus pin press? Pause bench. And the reason is that the pin pressing beats you up too much. I did those for years. And you can remember my videos on dead benching, including the workout videos. I worked up to 375 on that exercise. But then I found that progression was very hard to achieve. And every time I would do those workouts, my elbows would feel a little bit whack. And my explosiveness would go down tremendously. Because it's metal on metal constantly. Now, you can always use straps. But the thing is, it's still dead stop. It's like the same reason why deadlifting is harder on your recovery compared to RDLs. And then the other factor is the fact that when you break up the exercise like that into two motions, it's less specific. Because in a pause bench, you have to physically hold the weight. You're maintaining that tension. Even if you sink it a bit, it's not the same as completely letting go. So just off that, you're going to get less carryover. And that's also why RDLs give you less carryover than stiff-legged deadlifts. It's not because of the range of motion. It literally is due to the dead stop element. So the muscles are being worked the same way for the most part, but one is stop, the other is you keep going. Yo, thank you for the super chat, Mario. You sent me 10,000 COP. I have no idea what that is, but it's kind of freaky seeing all those zeros right there. Hi, Alex. Any advice on sleep hygiene and recovery? I think you mentioned getting almost 9 full hours at one point. I can barely catch 7. Thanks. It all depends on your training program. Like right now, it might sound crazy, but I've been getting like 11 hours of sleep which is a lot, but there's a reason for it. I'm peaking for the back squat. So I need that extra recovery. And I'm genuinely tired as hell every single night, you know? But when I train normally, just 8 hours gets the job done. Now, 7 is fine. You said you can barely catch 7, so you're like 6.5, something like that. Like, you're gonna make worse gains doing that, 100% guaranteed. But you can still get away with it. Like in 2016, there were a lot of days where I went through that because I went to the gym late at night. I would usually go at midnight. You know, sometimes 1 in the morning as well. That's why it always looked rather empty, you know. It was always packed like at 6, you know. So I would go minimum 9:30, but usually, between 10 and 1 in the morning. That was my average, okay. So I didn't sleep a lot compared to, you know, more recent times. But I still got great gains. Some of the best progress in my life, you know. And even before that, actually, the entire time that I was building my YouTube channel, between 2013 and 2015, I basically got between 4 and 6 hours a night. And that's actually when I was the most depressed. And I actually had the most plateaus as well. And I was the least productive. So there's probably a correlation there. I noticed like my gains were not good around that time. But I still improved. So there was still something is what I'm telling you. So even without the best sleep, you can get better. But I don't recommend it, honestly. Oh, what hell? I didn't try to delete this message. For some reason, your thing got... Hey Alex, how do I combat motion sickness from neck training? Also, what carby foods you recommend to gain weight? White rice makes me slumped when I eat too much, and brown rice tastes like shit. All right, my man. So the motion sickness from neck training, I don't really know how to help you with that because this is not something I've ever experienced. In general, I'm not capable of experiencing that. It must be genetics, but I don't experience motion sickness. I can even, when I was a kid, I used to have the Game Boy Advance, right? And I would play that in the backseat of the car when we would go up north. And that was like a long drive. And I would be on this thing the whole time looking down. I never felt like throwing up or anything like that. When I go to school, you're taking the bus, the subway, right? You're on there for like an hour and a half, bro. I fucking read my books, you know? Spinning around in circles, going on rides. I never experienced, like, I don't get that, you know? I'm born that way, right? So I can't give you any advice regarding that. Like, the only thing I could say is maybe slow down the tempo a bit and restrict your range of motion. Like, don't bring your neck all the way back here, you know? Like, just there, not here. And don't be swinging and doing this crap. You know? So, yeah, as long as you don't look like you're having a seizure, I think you're going to be okay. And breathe a lot. Breathe through your nostrils. Then you asked another question. Carby foods, right? Pasta. Get yourself some penne rigate, okay? And buy, it's called passata. Okay, it's like these glass jars are like this big with strained tomatoes, right? Put 2 of those in a pot of water, and then put 1 of those with water, filled to the max, right? Then you want to put some spices in there: parsley, oregano, salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, rosemary, a lot of olive oil too. And let it bring it to a boil, and then low temperature for the next 25 minutes. Constantly stir it. You can have a nice, fatty, flavorful sauce, right? Boil your pasta, mix it all in. You're gonna have over 2,000 calories in one meal. And also put some like Put a bunch of Parmesan cheese on top, you know? That's what I'm gonna say for that. It's gonna taste amazing. You're gonna feel like you're at the restaurant every day. Goku or Vegeta? Vegeta, bro. When I was a kid, I was Team Goku, but now I prefer Vegeta. I resonate with his... I feel like the less... How do I say this? The less of a wimp you become, the more you vibe with Vegeta. Because he's just so freaking badass. This guy never stops. He's constantly being outdone, yet he continues. You know? He also has a receding hairline like me, which is relatable. He's proud. He outdid Goku in the gravity chamber. I think he went to 400 gravity, whereas Goku was just doing 100 on his way to Namek. He refuses to get help. He wants to do it on his own. Like he doesn't even want to learn Kaioken from King Kai. He's like, screw you. I'm gonna do shit my way. I'm gonna experiment. You know? He's tough, but he's also got a soft side for his family, right? Even though he won't admit it. He's just got this personality, man. I don't know. He's really... Vegeta's cool. What's your thoughts on Minoxidal? Hasn't done shit for me. So, I've used Minoxidal in the past for my beard. I used to have like a really disconnected, not full beard. Like it was just mutton chops. Like it was just like up to here. And no neck hair either. And I had like 3 little ball sack chin hairs. You know? Everything was really patchy and sparse, right? And I use Vegeta. Not Vegeta. I'm reading these comments. I use Minoxidal for 14 months every day. I think I did 1 liter in the morning and 1 liter at night. And after 3 months, I started noticing legit results. And that's actually when I did my, I think, 20 or 30,000 subscriber special. This was in 2017. And it worked. And the longer I went on it, the thicker it got. Eventually, I quit. And I kept all the gains. I think maybe my mustache went down a little bit in thickness. And my beard still wasn't complete at the time. Like I still didn't have the connectors. Like you see these hairs here that never really filled in. And this is trimmed right now, by the way. But that came in years later, just naturally. And then even the chin, like it wasn't like really full. Like when I would grow it out, it would kind of look see-through. But years after taking it, that's when the beard actually maximized. But while I was on it, I didn't notice, like it wasn't peaked yet. It's only when I got off. But that might not be due to the Minoxidal. That could just be the aging factor, right? I got lumps and pimples, inflammation. Yeah, I don't doubt that, man. A lot of people get red skin doing that. For me, I noticed dark circles under my eyes. If you watch my older videos, it looked like I had some bloating around my eyelids, like really bad bloating, and it looked super off. And you can actually tell when I'm on Minoxidal. Like, you know when you can tell when someone's on drugs? It's the same thing with this, bro. Look at my eyes whenever I'm on that stuff, and you're gonna see the same pattern. So it worked for me. I've tried it on my head hair as well, but for that, it did not work. The only thing I noticed is my hair would get darker. It would turn like more black when I would use it. And it would grow a little bit faster, but it never grew back my lost hair. You know? Once it's gone, it's gone. So I just never bothered using it again. Plus, it's really annoying to apply. It gets really greasy. And the foam is more expensive as well. You can't forget to apply it. You know, sometimes you'll put it on late at night and it goes all over your pillow. It's annoying. Did you derma roll? Yes, I did. I derma rolled on my face around just here. And well, yeah, I did derma roll, you know. And I tried the head. It work for me. I'm someone who's going to need finasteride if I ever want to correct male pattern baldness, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, tried on my head hair. Only pimples, no hair regrowth. Yeah. Finasteride is what you're looking for if you actually want to fix it along an FUE or FUT transplant. It's what it is, you know? Or you just accept it. But you're actually pretty good considering your age. You got wrinkles. I remember that. Makes you look older. Yeah, I feel like it was affecting my forehead potentially, you know? I always look better when I get off that stuff. Minoxidal. Looks like I'll have to go to Turkey, bro. Yeah, if it really bothers you, that's probably the best way to go. But be careful where you go. Make sure it's not one of those hair mills where they're really going to chop you up to the max. It's got to have a reputation. And actually, because you got some status, you might be able to get one for free. But you're going to have to make a video promoting the clinic. You know, you can also get scalp micro pigmentation. I think that looks excellent when done correctly. It brings back your hairline and youthfulness. You can customize it however you want. Maximum density, 100% success rate. Definitely worth considering. Thank you all for the content, bro. Keep it up. Thank you, Hamza. How do I strengthen my wrist for headstands? You shouldn't really need strong wrists for handstands. I thought you were talking about like the yoga move that people do, where you just get blood flow and you're like just bouncing. Okay, handstands. I would start with the pike push-up just to build that wrist flexibility, because it's probably just load management. Like, you can't handle your body weight on your wrist, but if you subtract that amount by using a regression, then you're going to be able. So use the easiest regression that's still like a vertical press and slowly build on from there. Decline push-ups will help you as well. And you can even do like pseudo planche push-ups where you're leaning your body all the way forward. Like, wrist strength takes time to build. And I might even tell you to drop the parallettes completely. Like for me, I did 160 pounds on the weighted push-up. No parallettes, just straight wrists pressing like this. And I don't have any pain. You know, I could bend it all the way back. I do low bar squats with a full grip and my wristband back. I don't have any pain. And also wearing wrist wraps for that helps, though. I'm not going to lie. This is something you got to build. It takes time. But, you know, slowly work it in. Alex, are you into UK music? I'm into the metalcore scene from the UK, as well as Australia. You guys got some talented artists over there. But if you're talking about outside of that world, I can't think of anything. Except for maybe like EDM type stuff that is all instrumental. And in that case, you're not even going to hear the accent, you know? But UK metalcore is really good. But the Aussies are by far the most intense. They're on a whole other level, guys. Okay, we're going to start wrapping up in a bit. We're almost at 2 hours, as I said. Lead on beat. Hey, Alex, what's good? My man, Mohammed Sabri. How you doing? Alex, long time, man. I'm now 175 at 10%. Do you still offer consulting calls? For you, no consulting required. Hit me up. And good job on the gains. That is, wow. I remember when you were like 140 something pounds at that body fat. And you're someone who's always been rather lean. So now you're 175, 10%. Wow. Really well done, my man. We'll talk soon, okay? Do you think neck training is necessary for a complete looking physique? I don't think it's necessary, but it can certainly make you look bigger than you actually are. It all depends what kind of physique you're going for Like, without direct work, maybe your neck can be 16 to 17 inches. But if you isolate it, you'll get 18 to 19. So we're talking an extra 2 inches. Is that extra length worth it for you? I don't know. Aussie here say Aussie. Sorry, man. I thought the S's were pronounced in that way. I didn't know. Aussie. Okay. Alex, I hit plateau at 135 in the squat 2 months ago into lifting. How do I increase the poundage? Shouldn't be plateauing on 135. And I'm looking at your picture right here. You look really lean in that pic. You look really lean there. So I would suspect that you're just not eating enough food. You know, if you're in a calorie surplus, gaining like even a pound of fat per week, there's no way you're gonna be stuck at a plate on the squat. Not possible. So that combined with a program, maybe run a basic novice routine, you're gonna surpass that in no time. Like this is not. If you do plateau, it should be minimum at like 185 or 225, not where you're at right now. Hey Alex, is it okay to drink alcohol occasionally? Absolutely. In 2016, I was drinking like 3 to 4 times a week. One little glass of wine with my meals. And even though it affected muscle protein synthesis, I got really good results during that time. Now, do I recommend alcohol? Not really. If you can avoid it completely, that's going to be fine. I mean, a lot better. Now, what about like getting drunk on the weekends? Or you have one day where you indulge a little bit more. That's okay. It's always fun going to a friend's house. You pop a couple beers, you know, maybe have some pizza to go with it. I mean, it's gonna affect your muscle protein synthesis. That's a fact. But you know, you can still live a bit. Like, you know what's funny? I'm gonna hear enhanced users say, "Well, I don't drink alcohol, so I'm healthy." But it's like you can drink alcohol and live longer than someone who's taking moderate amounts of roids. You know, there's a lot of people under 80s and 90s who drink moderately. They have a little bit amount, you know? They have the red wine. They indulge a little. They're outliving the juices left and right. So I don't buy their arguments when they say that. Do you do behind the back deadlifts anymore? Feels like a good home gym alternative to SSB squats. The last time I did that exercise was last year, but I don't really do them anymore just because they're a little bit awkward and the stimulus to fatigue ratio is not the best. So this is a similar reason why I don't do a lot of overloading movements. Even though they're effective, it's not fun when you have to load up a bunch of plates. That takes time and it beats you up. So whatever allows me to minimize that makes me very happy. You know, and if I'm doing behind the back deads, every workout is going to be minimum 6 plates aside on the deadlift. And that is so, I don't enjoy that, you know. And plus, nobody seems to care what I do in that movement. I certainly don't care anymore. My best was 655. And I bet if I pulled 700, they would say, well, it's not conventional. So you can't eliminate the brainwashing that's affected the online fitness community. It's what it is. It's hit a point now where even in powerlifting, the whole sumo versus conventional thing has been blown out of proportion. So it's what it is. Alex, would you still agree that one could reach their natural size and strength potential using full body training? Yes, I do. Like I said, I stopped at the very end of 2019. And the reason I did that was to focus more on my legs because I was extremely lazy. And if I didn't do this shift, I was never going to stop. It's that simple. So look at all the old school greats from way back. Steve Reeves, Leroy Colbert, a lot of the silver era bodybuilders. Most of them ran full body throughout their entire lifting journeys. Or if they did medal with splits, it was very short term. But full body works. I think you can. I think I'd be the same size right now if I continued full body. If I structured it correctly, it wouldn't have changed the amount of muscle gain acquired. It's really a preference thing. Do you like training in this style? Do you see yourself doing it long term? For me, because the legs, I had to get away from it. You know. Plus, I have a home gym, so it's like, why am I cramming everything into one session when I'm like a 10-second walking distance from any workout I want? That's also why I'm even considering getting away from upper lower. Because it's like I'm doing 2 workouts in one, which is fine. Like the whole body recovers together and it's great. But I don't have to drive anywhere. You know, I can have faster workouts if I just split it up. And the gains are going to be the same. But that's the whole thing, though. The gains don't change. You're just dividing your schedule a bit. You're going to be in the gym a little bit more frequently. But on a time level, it evens out. So every split works. That's how we conclude this Q&A, I suppose. You have to find what is sustainable for you. If that's full body, sure. If you were destined to gain 30 pounds of muscle, you'll do it with full body. No doubt. So, I think that's about it. I'm still seeing more questions. Good Q&A. We're wrapping up, guys. You're making me feel bad, though. I'm seeing all these questions coming in. But I got things to do. I got to film a workout video for you guys coming out tomorrow. So, spoiler alert, I received the Arch Nemesis Swiss Bar by Bales of Steel. And it happens to fit perfectly in my home gym. I'm able to elevate it right next to my trap bar and easy bar. So that is amazing. And I'm going to see what I can lift on that. I haven't flat benched in well over a month. So we're going to do that. Might start with some heavy repetitions and then do back downs, or I'll just go straight into volume. But the Swiss bar is going to be used primarily, and I think it's going to humble the hell out of me. I know Bald Omni-Man has it as well, and it seems to be really challenging because of the extra camber. So it's not a straight bar like this, it's curved. So let's see how much more we can get out of less weight. All right. Love the workout videos, Alex. Your content is great. I'm happy you like them, dude. Oh, and like I said at the start, weekly Q&As, yes. So when we're done this, post your questions down below, okay? I'm also going to do a community post, and this weekend, you're going to get another Q&A. So this was the last live Q&A for a long time. I don't know how much more frequently we're going to do these. We're going to go back to the OG way and see how that rolls. If you guys like it, it'll continue. If not, then we return to this. It's that simple. So thanks for stopping by. This was a pretty good Q&A. Non-stop back and forth action. Post your questions down below. And I'll see you in the next Q&A.